What is the job of a head coach? The job of a head coach is to put your team in the best position to win. That is the job of a head coach. The head coach doesn't put on cleats or put on pads or put on a helmet. The job of a head coach is to put the team in the best position to win. Now, the question now is, did Ron Rivera put the team in the best position to win on Sunday when they lost to the Browns 24-10? If they just lost to the Browns, I wouldn't be upset. I really wouldn't, because it is what it is. They lost to a better team. But that is not what happened. I've said multiple times, Carson Wentz, as a football talent, might be better than Taylor Heinicke, just as a pure talent. But one thing that I've been very consistent in saying is that the Washington Commanders play different, and they play better. They play with more energy with Taylor Heinicke. And while, yes, Taylor Heinicke didn't have the best game against or have the best previous game, Taylor Heinicke still gave the Washington Commanders the best chance of winning, not because he's a better talent than Carson Wentz. It's because the team plays better with and for Taylor Heinicke. You know who knows that? Everybody else but Ron Rivera, but the person that is in charge of putting the Washington Commanders in the best position to win. Now, again, I'm not saying Taylor Heinicke is that. Taylor Heinicke isn't that good of a quarterback. I'll be real with you. But when Taylor Heinicke's playing, the offense runs better, or the offense looks better. Not saying that I don't even think he scored 20 points this game or this year. But the offense has more of a pop to it. The ball gets out quicker. Terry McLaurin has good games. Jahan Dotson, Brian Robinson, I'm sorry. Curtis Samuel has better games. Yes, the offensive line is not good still. But it's crazy how different, how incredibly different that offensive line looks with Carson Wentz and with Taylor Heinicke. Washington had to win to remain in the playoff hunt. If they would have lost, and Green Bay, which we'll talk about later in the show, if Green Bay would have beat the Vikings, which they did in royal fashion, then the Washington football team would just have to win next week. But what happened? The head football coach of the Washington Commanders thought to himself, let me put in a player that has not shown a lick of success since winning the Super Bowl as a bench player. Let's not forget, yes, we talk about the fact of Carson Wentz was the front runner for the MVP the year, the year that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. What people don't forget is he was also on the bench when Nick Foles won them that Super Bowl. That defense, that team won them. You know who didn't really help them in the playoffs because he wasn't playing? Carson Wentz. You know who hasn't been good since he got hurt that year? Carson Wentz. Again, numbers don't Numbers don't lie. I agree with that. But numbers also don't tell the whole story because they're just numbers. Case in point. If you look at the numbers, Tom Brady is having one of the best seasons or passing seasons he's ever had. Tom Brady is having one of the best passing seasons he has ever had. You know what those numbers don't tell you? That Tom Brady and the Bucks are 8-8. So what Ron Rivera thinks is the best thing to do is to play Carson Wentz over Taylor Heineke in the most important game of the season. Taylor Heineke, by the way, who beat the Eagles, who gave Eagles one of their 3 losses this year. Taylor Heineke has one bad game. Now, again, I'm not saying Taylor Heineke is the best, but you have to look at the best you have to see who gives you the best opportunity as a win, head coach. So you bench Taylor Heineke and you start Carson Wentz in the biggest game of the season. And what does Carson Wentz do? Carson Wentz has the most vintage Carson Wentz game I have ever seen in my life. Carson Wentz goes 16 for 28, 143 yards, and 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 interceptions. Washington ultimately lost the game. They lost to a Deshaun Watson who went 9 for 18 for 169 yards and 3 touchdowns. You know what that means? That means that those 3 interceptions did more damage to the Washington football team than Deshaun Watson's 3 touchdowns. Because he didn't do much else. I'm not saying that Ron Rivera should be fired just because of this week. I'm saying Ron Rivera should be fired because what has he year after year? Look at Pete Carroll. Do you think if Ron Rivera and Pete Carroll, like if Ron Rivera was in Pete Carroll's shoes and had to do what Pete Carroll has done with the Seahawks, who, by the way, are in the playoffs right now, do you think that the Seahawks would have the same success? Look at Brian Daboll. You think if Ron Rivera was in the same position that Brian Daboll was for the Giants, who clinched the playoff, by the way, you think that Ron Rivera could succeed? Better yet, I'll give you a cheat code. I'll give Ron Rivera a cheat code. You think if Ron Rivera was the head coach of the Packers, with all that they have going on and all the turmoil that they had going on, do you think that they'd be pretty much controlling their destiny because Washington lost? And trust me, bro. The thing that frustrates me the most about this situation is the fact that I can see what's about to happen on the horizon. Ron Rivera is going to be here for a minute. I don't know. I don't think they're going to fire him because I don't know what's going on with this Dan Snyder thing. And if Dan Snyder's selling the team, the last thing you want to do is fire the head coach because you're going to have to pay him more and you're losing the team. So Ron Rivera, Mike Del Rio, or Jack Del Rio, Scott Turner. We do not have a competent coach on this roster. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.